Hi, I'm Adam Shiva, and we've been talking about 3 phases of masculine growth laid out in Iron John, a book by Robert Bly. So, we've already talked about the red phase and the white phase, and now we're going to be talking about the black. So the black is in a way an integration of those 2 previous phases. That it's important what we learned from the white, this like living with our values, doing what helps those around us, and being considerate to those we influence, and what's right and feels righteous for us, and also integrating our passions so that we're not flying off the chains just living from feelings, and we're also not heady in a way people can't feel and can't relate to. So that's like this integration of both of those. But there are a couple other elements that the black involves that are greater than just an integration of red and white. One of those involves grief. And that as we live life, there are things that we lose and have to give up on. Maybe there's your high school sweetheart and it felt so good and you trusted that relationship so much and it didn't work out. And the integration of, oh, how do I make my story not as fairy tale cute as I hoped it had been? Or we have big dreams of some massive plan of the business or community we're going to create. And as time comes, it becomes made more real, made more connected to life, and maybe less of a grand vision than we hoped. And that loss is something that, definitely takes something to integrate. And there also is a humor. And that feeling of sitting with loss and being kind of greater through losing. And as someone else experiences pain, that man who's experiencing the black can be like, I've been there. I know that feeling. And sees the other person in what feels like giving up and having the strength of like, I've been exactly there and I didn't actually give up. And I'm here now. And there's a certain ache that my heart still experiences every day. But it's in a good way. It's something I'm integrating and is making me more full. And then there's actually a humor that comes out of that exact kind of grief. Sometimes, as many more mature men will integrate together and kind of be together, there are these kinds of jokes that come out that have a depth to them. Sometimes there are jokes about the failure of those big dreams. Sometimes there are jokes about how infrequently a man and his wife have sex. They can be about anything, but they're at their core about this feeling of desire, dreams, and loss, and that ability to sit with each other in this loss and laugh at it is something that's like being made bigger by loss. The wholeness that comes from the diminishment of losing something that mattered to you. And that's this phase that actually can give us this ability to mentor and guide others through hard times. Just winning at everything doesn't give you the strength to be there for someone as they're in a hard transition. But experiencing loss and learning how to integrate that, learning how to walk with what you can do now in this phase. And also to laugh at life and its loss and how sometimes it hurts, and you just learn that walk-in blues to get up anyway, even though it hurts. And those are some of the phases that are indicative of that black wholeness. And so it doesn't stick to the rules in the way that the white does. And it doesn't get mad at something that offended him in the way the red does. It kind of sees the bigger picture and is ready to show up with some kind of elder energy to understanding the phases and not being reactive to either the violation of what the values they hoped for in their dreams or what feels inconvenient to them. So it's something bigger than red or white or their combination. It's this growing into wholeness. And I hope that was useful to you. To me, these 3 stages of growth I don't think of as just a timeline. I think of it as actual phases of learning and seeing how my life has involved phases where I just need more red and passion in my life to show up as the person I want to be. Or I see times where I'm being plunged into a time of grief, and that's involving this integration. And how do I hold that with this matureness and this wholeness? And to recognize these phases actually give us resources that maybe times feel tough, but that with an understanding of what's happening, we can balance what life sends our way with what we seek, using this understanding of a wholeness. And we also can just kind of have gratitude and understanding of why the lessons we're getting are coming in the way they are. I hope this has been useful to you. I hope that through contemplating these things and potentially writing about how they apply to your own life, what are stories that fit those different archetypes, and what are lessons you think are in your future that have to do with them? I hope this becomes a resource to you that helps your empowerment and you stepping into being yourself more fully. Thank you.